it's Cordelia Colt, but you can call me Cora. I have thoughts today, and well, I have plans. Uh, my plans for this stream primarily are just working on the storage room. That's what I feel like I need to get done. That's what I feel like I'm missing. Uh, do you want to go? You're free to go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, man, really? Can you just, like, like that? Yeah, nice. Thanks. But that means you're leaving, right? That means you're not coming back. Might want some windows in this place. Now, if I sound different today, I have slightly tweaked my audio settings, but mostly I've found some vocal exercises, and I've done like 10 minutes of warm-ups today, and I feel like that shines through in my voice. I feel like my diction is a little clearer. I feel like my voice is a little louder, and I feel like everything is just better now. Talking feels better than it usually does, at the very least. Okay. I have some thoughts about that, but I want to get into this first. Now, I do want this to be a longer room. And also I had to get a third nether chest because these two are full now. Do these need to be? Well, they're soul speed, so they are nether. Arrows? I don't know. I haven't really done anything since the last stream, so nothing much has changed. I left the 2 fire resistance potions in the nether, so they're going to be there where I'm probably going to need them. I don't really find myself getting set on fire very often and in the overworld. That's not really a common occurrence. This is all nether stuff. This is nether stuff. Blackstone, that's nether stuff. Flint, nah. I could sort through this more thoroughly at some other point, but right now, as I said, I want to make this into the room I want it to be. And to do that, I need wood. I need a lot of spruce. So that's probably going to be the first part of this stream is just spruce farming. Luckily, I'm pretty good at planting trees. So it should be fine. Do I want a shovel? I feel like it's fine. I feel like there's no point in not taking one, though. Well, except if I die, but what's the chance of that happening? Come on. If I can survive the nether, I can survive the overworld. It's not that hard. Now, I have been thinking a lot about, like, vocal stuff lately, because I feel like that's my main weakness right now, as honestly, just as a person in general. I have always been kind of a mumbler. I've always kind of had a hard time with my voice. And it's not that I dislike my voice too much. It's fine, I guess. I don't hate... Like, I can record it, and I can listen back to it, and it's fine. I don't get that kind of cringe reaction that a lot of people get, but what does end up happening is that I just... Like, I don't dictate very clearly. I have a hard time making my tongue do the things I want it to do. And it kind of just ends up being, like, a little messy. I guess. And that's... Mm, I talked about this last stream. I've always been kind of bad at people and expressing emotions and stuff. And part of that is my voice, and part of that is like my general type body language. And when I decided to kind of practice that stuff, I kind of chose to focus on my body language and my facial expressions. And as a result, I am very good at facial expressions now. But yeah, and my life did significantly, like everything got significantly noticeably easier once I did that. I'm not even exaggerating. Everything just started flowing more smoothly. It is a very good skill to have. But at the same time, my voice is and always has been a little monotone. And I think my Norwegian accent kind of disguises that fact just a little bit. Because Norwegian is kind of a sing-songy, pitchy language. But if you listen to me speak in Norwegian, I am fairly monotone, all things considered. And that there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like I would do better with a more expressive voice, and I want that. I want that. That's something I'd like. I think my life would be better if I had an easier time expressing stuff through my voice. And also, like, I often have to repeat myself because I'm a little, like, yeah, people aren't really able to catch what I'm saying a lot of the time. And that's annoying. And I want to just speak clearly and well, and that's it. And I'm not like aiming to be a voice actor or anything. I'm not aiming to be like a professional singer. I'm just interested in being like having my everyday life go a little more smoothly. And I think this is a very good place to start, right? Now, this is kind of connected to why I'm trying to learn singing. Because I feel like if I can learn to sing, then talking is kind of probably going to be... I'm not going to say that that's automatically going to bleed over into talking, but like it's probably going to help, right? And getting a vocal coach, I can. I have considered it. But it's not that my speech is useless, right? I can definitely use my voice. I can definitely survive with what I have. I feel like I would have an easier time if I was better with my voice. So I really want to be better with my voice. Yeah? Again, not trying to be a voice actor, not trying to be a professional singer, nothing like that. I'm just looking for a bit of an easier life. Now there are... It's hard, right? Because I'm... Oftentimes when I try stuff, I tend to be like one of those annoying people that is pretty good at anything on my first try. Not everything. Absolutely not everything. And singing is definitely an example of that. I'll state the one positive thing, the one thing I feel like I do well. I can hit the pitches, like I can hit the notes. I feel like that's fairly simple for me. Like, it's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like massively out of key. I feel like I'm fairly good at hitting the right notes. I feel like my timing is decent. if a little awkward, but mostly just because I'm, yeah, not moving my tongue fast enough, right? It's like I time things correctly. I'm just not taking into consideration the fact that my tongue is slow and a little sluggish. Because I'm very used to rhythms and pitches, right? I've played several instruments and like that very naturally transfers into general knowledge of music, but when I try to sing, it's like some of those skills transfer and some of them really don't, right? When I press a key on a piano, I know exactly when that key is gonna I know what I'm gonna hear and I know how to kind of time that. When I start singing something, it takes a second for it to kind of come out of my mouth, I guess. And that's a weird thing to get used to. I haven't been doing this for super long. So it is absolutely to be expected that it isn't there yet, but it is one of those things I need to get used to. Just yeah. But I am learning and I am having fun with it as much as it is very difficult. Now, how do I want to put this? The problem with my singing is everything else. uh, I guess I just don't have the confidence right now. I feel like that's honestly the big thing. And also, I'm straining my voice. I can feel it in my throat. I did like a 10-minute exercise and I can feel it. It's not like it hurts or anything, but you're not, like, apparently you're not supposed to feel it in your throat. You're supposed to feel it in your, like, core, in your abs and, like, that area. And I'm just not feeling anything from there, which could mean that I have just incredible core strength, unrivaled, completely natural. Uh, but obviously, that's not what it means. Obviously, it's the second option, which is that I'm doing this entirely wrong, which is fine because I just started, so I'm not expecting to get everything right on the first try. It takes practice, it takes time. I know that. I know that. It is. It shouldn't be discouraging. It should be good. And I need to just accept that I'm not good at this right now. And I need to get better. And if I want to get better, then I'm going to have to actually like sit down and just do this every day for a bit. Or, yeah, probably every day. I should at least warm up every day, right? But yes, yes. It takes practice, and I can get there. I know. I've heard people who didn't know how to sing learn how to sing before. I know that that is absolutely a thing anyone can do. So it's not out of my reach. It's just, yeah. I just, I'm just not there yet. I'll get there. I'll get there. I have no doubt that if I really truly want this, and if I keep it up, I will get there someday. That would be good. I am considering hiring like an actual teacher though, like some sort of vocal coach. I think that might help. I think that might help with my voice stuff. I mean, in fact, that would be the smart move, right? If only in the beginning, because I don't want to learn any incorrect well, I'm already obviously doing it wrong, so I guess it's already a little too late, but who has not sang one song in their life, right? Right? It's not like a piano or a guitar where you might actually never even have touched one. It's it's different. It's a different situation. Yeah, with the piano you might actually not have any semblance of technique or intuition when you start, but with your voice, you do. You do. Unless you've been mute your entire life and this is your first like time learning, then you are going to have some sort of intuition of like how to use it. So I guess everyone starts off with something. Well, I mean, I guess that's true for piano too, I guess, in a sense, but it feels different somehow. It feels a little different somehow. Hmm. Ooh, there we go. Yeah. Zombie? Thought I heard a zombie. This game is so fucking somber. Puts me in a mood. It's very hard to be energetic. And I'm not saying that's the vibe I'm trying to go for, but I'm like I like to rewatch my streams a little bit just so I can kind of see what I do that works and what I do that doesn't work, and like I want to have kind of an image of what I'm like as a streamer. And I am noticing that Minecraft specifically kind of puts me in a weird somber mood, and my vocal my voice doesn't really. I feel like my voice could be really good at that. I feel like my voice could be great for like a chill stream if I just put a little work into developing a softer, chilled out voice, but I don't have that right now. I feel like if I put a little work in, that could be this could be incredible for me if I put in the work. But like something like Hollow Gear, that doesn't really lend itself to the same kind of chill vibe. There's definitely a zombie here. Where? Where are you? Here? Is it underground? Probably, right? Huh. But yeah, I want to do some vocal stuff going forwards, and I'm going to put effort into making my voice, I don't know how to put it, better, more fit for purpose, more deliberate. Not that I want to put on a voice artificially, of course, but like, yeah. I mean, everything is artificial at first, right? Anything you do is fake for a bit while you're learning to do it. And if I want my voice to be better, I need to kind of fake it at first. That's just how it works, you know? It's not quite fake it till you make it, but it's closely related, I feel. Very few things come naturally at first. Very few things just make sense instantly. Some things do. Every now and then you find something that just clicks, and your mind just takes to it like it's the most natural thing in the world, and everything has been leading up to you finding this thing, and now it's just such an obvious piece of your soul that you can't really imagine yourself without it anymore. But mostly, when you start doing something for the first time, it's going to be hard. And that's uncomfortable. I need to get used to that discomfort, though, if I want to grow as a person. And right now I am in a period of my life where I am very interested in growing as a person. It's kind of my main goal right now. Not to say that I don't have other stuff going on, but that's kind of the thing I'm focusing on. And I mean, to an extent, that should always be part of your focus, I think, a little bit, at least. You always want to be getting better, but better? But sometimes you have other stuff too, right? Sometimes other stuff takes precedent over whatever you want to improve. I don't know. I have some thoughts about that kind of stuff. Self-help is... I mean... it's a mixed bag, I think. Self-help is a complicated topic. There's some good stuff, sure. But it's also a very easy market to exploit, I think. Because that is kind of literally a market of people who want to change. It's a very easy market to go into if you want to... how do I put this? Shape people's opinions. Shape people's personalities. Because, like, that's literally the reason people buy self-help books, is to change. They are kind of going into it with the mindset that I am going to absorb the messages in this book or whatever. That makes it powerful. That makes it very powerful. It also makes it very dangerous. But I mean, power is just power. There's nothing inherently good or bad about it. It just is. It just exists. I guess. But I do want to be careful with self-help and going too hard into just self-improvement stuff. Not because you don't want to improve yourself, but yeah, just be aware of what kind of market is flooded with. That doesn't make sense. What kinds of people write self-help books, you know? What kinds of people want you to read what they have to say? I am kind of lost. I can't be that far. I can't be that far. There's a pumpkin patch. There's a cave. There we are. I need some better landmarks. I need some better landmarks. Or possibly I need to start going out with a map. Oh, man. Man, I went to the bathroom right before I started stream, and yet... and yet, here we are. It's just gonna be a second. It's just gonna be a second. I'll be right back. Thank you for your patience. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. Thank you very much for waiting. Or skipping ahead. That's absolutely valid as well. What do you mean? Don't you like my pause music? I made it myself, you know? I worked hard on that. I don't know. I don't know. I enjoy making music. I don't do it very often, though. I don't do it often. Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by making music. I don't produce stuff very often. I don't like producing. I don't like mixing. That's kind of... Well, I do sometimes. It's just the mood very rarely strikes, you know? Usually when I'm doing art stuff, I'd rather sit at a piano and play something. Which makes sense, I think. I feel like I'm more of a performer than a behind the scenes person. Uh, Not that I necessarily think I have the charisma to do that, but uh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel more comfortable on the stage, though. I've always had more fun on stage than off. Though that obviously does change over time and depending and, you know, tons of factors there. I have been off stage, like, or backstage technical crew sometimes as well. It's definitely, like, I do have a little bit of experience doing that stuff. Not a ton, but like I've definitely done like sound mixing and stuff for live shows. That's fun in its own way. It's a good experience to have a couple times. I've done some light rigging. It's uh it's fine. It's fine. That stuff's fine. I don't know if that's what maybe. Maybe. You never know where life's gonna take you, I guess. My life has taken me to that point once or twice. I don't really make a habit of it, though. I haven't really been on stage for a bit either. You know, I've been wanting to dip my feet back into it with, like, possibly doing some open mic stuff. I did that a bit a while back, but... and I mean, just amateur stuff, right? I'm not, like... I don't have professional, super high-level experience. I probably make it sound a lot more impressive than it is. Yeah. Probably sounds a lot more impressive when I say it than it would be if you saw it, but it's still, right? It's still actual stage experience, right? But I've been wanting to get into it again, and yeah, open mics are just a good way to do that. It's not too much of a commitment. It's just like have something in mind, try to do it, go on stage, just decide that you're gonna have fun with it and just do the thing. And maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. That's fine. That's fine. I think you know, I used to have stage fright, and I used to hate the sound of my own voice, and I used to a lot of those like common things. But honestly, at some point, there was kind of a shift in my mentality, and I just kind of decided that I was like just I don't know. I just decided that embarrassment was fine to an extent. I still don't like it, but I do think that's a healthy attitude to have. Just, yeah, I'm gonna make a fool out of myself and it's gonna be hilarious. I'm not as good at that nowadays. Which is kind of why I've started streaming, right? I want to build up that confidence again. I had a little bit of it. Confidence has always kind of been my weakness, though. One of them. Real confidence, that is. You can always fake some confidence, and I know that... I don't know. I find it relatively easy to fake confidence. And that helps. Definitely does help. But sometimes you want the real thing. And sometimes you notice that, oh, I sing without any sense of confidence. Yeah, I've just started. It makes sense. There's no reason why I would be fully confident in my singing right off the bat, but it's practice. Confidence is a practice thing. It'll come. I have no doubt of that. I have no doubt. I just have to keep going at it. That's the hard part, honestly. That's the hard part. It's just keeping up some sort of consistency. And I feel like the streams are helping. And when I watch them back, like, that's also a thing that I've noticed a lot, is that whenever I'm having a great day and I feel like, oh, that was a great stream, when I watch it back, I'm usually a little disappointed. I'm usually like, oh, that wasn't as good as I remembered. I thought that was better. But when I feel like I'm not doing that well, often those are actually the best streams, I feel, in retrospect. I don't know if that's because it's actually true or just because I set my expectations high. Oh yeah, rain. Because, you know, when you feel like you've done well, your expectations are like, oh yes, I nailed that. And then you get into it, and if it's not as good as you... Yeah, like, it's easy to get disappointed with that. I get that, but it does genuinely feel like there's something about... I don't know. That's a sad thought, though, isn't it? That's a very sad thought. Oh, I'm just more entertaining when I'm not feeling good. I hope that's not true. I hope that's just... Yeah, no. That would be very sad. That would be very sad. You don't want to incentivize sadness. You don't want to incentivize sadness. That's not something you want. Two more. Let's do this and this. Okay. Potato farm is better now. It's not fully there, but it's getting somewhere. Seeds. There we go. I do want to expand my wheat farm. I do. Do I need to, though? Do I actually have that kind of need? Or is that just, like... Am I trying to expand for nothing? There's no point in having way too much wheat. And I might actually be producing more than I'm using. That's always a tricky thing, because my natural tendency is that, like, I want to... Well, my natural inclination, I guess. Or maybe it's practiced, maybe it's learned, maybe it's cultural. My inclination, regardless of where it comes from, is to kind of expand and expand and expand, and I want a bigger wheat farm because bigger is better, I guess. But if I don't need it, then I don't need it. Sometimes you don't need more. then you need... There's no point in expanding endlessly. In fact, you can't... Well, I mean, Minecraft maybe, but in real life that's a very bad philosophy to have. Because at some point something's gotta give, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's better. Oh yeah, that's better. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable. Zombie. Zombie. Oh. Bumped my microphone. Hope that wasn't too bad for you. Do I need more wood? I think this is fine for now. Let's organize this just a little bit. Like that. Like that. I don't know. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be somewhat like searchable. I have to be able to find stuff in here. As long as I can find just... As long as I have a chance to find the things I want, it's fine. I also want to build an enchantment room. That's going to be in here, I think. If not one level down. I still know what I want for this room. I still have that image pretty clear in my mind. I don't know exactly what I want the floor to be made of. I don't know exactly what I want the walls proper to be made of. But I know I want it to be like warm golden, earthy brown. That kind of vibe. And I don't know if I have enough shroom lights, but I have a couple. I have enough to start. I have enough to make like a proof of concept test swatch thing. Swatch? Swatch? That's the word, right? When you're in a paint store and you get like the card with all the different paint colors. That's a swatch, right? I think so. Why? Felt like that torch lit up the room when it was on the floor. Do they? No. No, that's a mod, right? That's a mod or a resource pack or shaders or something. Are shaders technically mods? No, they can't be, right? Because I've seen several Hollow Pro members use shaders. So either that's like a technicality, or... Huh. Who makes shaders? It's not the game developers, right? And if it's not the game developers who made it, how is it different from a mod? That seems arbitrary to me. Let's just try making... Let's just try something. That's not where I wanted that to go. Like that. I wanted to go like peel like that. wanted to start at the edges, like this. Oh, two pieces of music right after each other. Sequentially. That's nice. 5, and I want... Or are these related pieces of music? Is that kind of a thing? I don't want it to go all the way across, but I don't know where I want it to end. Would it be like that? No. How about... something like that? And then we get rid of this. Ah, come on. Give me... Doesn't feel as round as I want it to be. Yeah, that was all. That's not quite. I feel like I can't really erase the roof. In that case, maybe I should lower the floor. Let's lower it by 2. I want to get this looking the way I have it in my head. Roughly, at least, right? It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be exactly what I have in my head, but I want it to arch in the way I see it. I mean, I shouldn't be too specific with my expectations, I guess. You always want to be a little flexible in your designs. Because I know my mind's eye isn't perfect, and sometimes a thing looks very good in my head and it doesn't really work that well. When I actually try it. But I do want to give it a shot. I do want to at least attempt what I have in my head before I dismiss it. Because this feels too wide and not round enough. If that makes sense. I don't want it to be completely round. I want it to be an oval, but I don't want it to be like... This is a little too squished of an oval, right? And I also... I do want it to touch the ceiling. I want it to be like a rib cage. I want it to be like a rib cage. That's the kind of vibe I'm going for. I want it to feel like you're in the belly of a whale. Like you've been swallowed by this gargantuan leviathan. And like all your stuff is in here. But I also want it to be cozy, right? Just like a whale. This is probably gonna be too steep, right? Yeah. Yeah, now it just, yeah, that feels wrong. So now it should start lower by a little bit. Just by a little bit. Just by a little tiny, tiny bit. There. Possibly. I should have like scaffolding or something. That'd be useful. That would be very useful, I think. Okay, up we go. And we want... Oh, and there's... I need to connect... Yeah. As well. This is awkward. I should have scaffolds. I don't have those blocks yet. I don't have scaffolding yet. Two. No, that goes out one. That goes out one. And this one goes out two. Do I want that to go in there or this? I feel like this is more natural. And then I take this. Does that feel better? No. No, it does not. That feels worse, actually. How about instead of doing that, we do something like this. Would that be better? This is closer. I do kind of like that arch. I do kind of like that arch. Just doesn't go high enough. It's hard. That's hard. Am I not streaming my audio right now, or is it just quiet? Let me just check something real quick. Be right back. No. Okay. So I am streaming audio. That's good. YouTube is just doing its thing, I guess. I got a warning. I got a warning that my audio bitrate was 0. I think I was quiet for a bit too long for YouTube's tastes. Perhaps. Perhaps. You know, the problem with this is that it doesn't... I know the kind of arch I want. I know what kind of shape I want. It's just... hard to actually make it. Back to the drawing board. Okay. Just a little bit. I like this. I like this. But I have to go up 3 from there. And that's very hard to do without... Yeah, so if I just do the same thing, but I just started 1 higher. 1 higher, that's all. That's the only change I'm making. And I just do this. Might that work better? Potentially. Potentially. Ouch. Let's try that again. Uh, 1, 2, 3. I feel like that. That's better. That's better. That's clearly better. Yes. Yes, we're doing that. We're trying that. Seeing if it works for both sides. And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, I'm not gonna cry or anything, but would be nice if it worked out. Every now and then it would be nice if stuff just worked out. Wouldn't it? How do I do this? I can't do this from the ground, can I? Oh, I can! Nice. 3. 3. And this goes out 1 more. And then I take this. And this. And this. Is that rough? It's a little sharp. It's just a little too sharp. Just a little tiny bit too sharp at the top for what I want. Like that, maybe. And then like that. Ah, but now it's just so... Now it's just so... square-like. That might work. Yeah, honestly, yeah, we're doing that. Okay, what's the spacing on these? What kind of a spacing do I want? I want room for a few chests in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every like 6 then? Would that be... that feels a little close. We'll try it, just to see. Just to see, but this feels too close somehow. Just a bit. Scaffolding would be incredible. Okay. I'm just very slowly killing myself here. That's nice. It's not nice. That's not nice. Like that. Yeah. Like that. I do think that's the best so far. Yeah. I do think that's the kind of arch. They feel a little close. Or, yeah, no, actually, that's fine. You know, that's fine, actually. And then I want the spine go through. Right? I want the spine to be a thing as well. Like that. Obviously, this part is a little empty, but does it work here? Yeah, that's pretty close to what I want. Yes. That's pretty close to what I was hoping for. Okay, good. Now, shroom lights. I have a couple, yeah. I want to make this a little bigger. Still. I want to make this even just a little bigger. I don't have to make these stairs so wide. There's no real point. There's no real point. It's honestly just gonna be annoying to deal with. I am getting a lot of messages about my audio bitrate. That is concerning. That is concerning. Am I really not getting enough? Like, what? What does that mean? Is it quiet? Huh. That might be quiet. Like that. Now I dig 2 down. This is good. This is good. Yeah, of course, this is gonna be annoying. It does kind of remind me of Hollow Knight, the soundtrack. It has like similar vibes. Sorrowful, mournful, like melancholic. Not quite nostalgic, but definitely something close to nostalgia. Definitely a longing of some kind. Longing for the good old days. Something lost. Great deal of loneliness. But not necessarily a bad loneliness, just a comfortable one. But it is very Hollow Knight. Kind of feels like the City of Tears. A little bit. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. I'm not doing the same pattern. That's why am I not doing the same pattern? I don't know. Felt like doing something different, I guess. So, I heard the Magnus Archives is getting renewed. Is that true? I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, I'm very like, the Magnus Archives is one of my favorite pieces of media ever. Genuinely has shaped me as a person very profoundly, but it had such a good ending. I liked the ambiguity. So making a second one? After something that ended so perfectly just feels... I mean, if there is a writer I trust to be able to pull that off, it is like Johnny Sims, but... I am conflicted. I am a little conflicted. I'm very curious as to what this is. I hope it's a little different. I hope it's different enough that... Yeah, I don't know. I just want Johnny to have some different kinds of work. Because I've listened a lot to the mechanisms. He's very good there, for example. So I know he has, like, the chops to do a lot of different things. I don't know. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess. But... with a lot of caution, I guess. You have to be careful about these things. I don't want... Like, I understand it, right? We live in a world of endless sequels, remakes, prequels, whatever. And this thing was, like, huge. This one thing, if you make a thing and it becomes that big, it's hard not to want to go back to it. But I don't know. I don't know the guy's feelings. I don't know. Maybe he really wanted to do that. Maybe he feels like there's something else he really wants to explore there. It is possible. It is possible that this is out of a genuine desire to do the thing. I hope so. I hope so. And I hope it will be good. I hope it'll be good. And I hope it's a little different. And I'm very curious as to what they do with it because, I mean, spoilers for Magnus Archives, I guess. So if you care about spoilers for the Magnus Archives, you should not listen to any more of this. So, if they got rid of all the entities from their world at the end of season 5, what what does that mean? Because that feels they can't just retcon that, right? They're still in the world, but it has to be something's changed, right? Something has to change. Are we following Martin and the archivist if they're still alive, wherever they ended up, whatever ended up happening with them? Or are we in the aftermath of the apocalypse? That would be a very interesting story. I would love to hear people talk about, like, I would love to see how the world would be affected by something like that. Would be an incredible thing. I think that has a lot of potential, actually. I do. And I'm also very curious as to what happened with the other avatars, because obviously we know Simon Fairchild didn't fare too well, but the others? Like the others that are still alive, I mean, are they still alive? I would love to hear more from Annabelle Kane. She's definitely my favorite character in that show. I love Annabelle Kane a lot. And her voice was really good. Her voice was really good. Really solid choice of voice actors there. But I wonder, I don't know. If anyone could make it work, it is that team of people, right? But I just, I don't see how to make it work. Or I can't see ways to make it work, but it feels like it could very easily be forced. I just don't know. I just don't know. Kind of scares me, the prospect of getting another season, because that show did mean a lot to me. That show did mean a lot to me. But I wonder if the entities moved worlds, and if they, like, survived that trip, how is the new world gonna change them? How are they different now in a new place? Because obviously, like, they were pulled apart by human conceptions of what fear is to begin with, right? They kind of evolved alongside humanity and were shaped by humans and also shaped humans. So, in a world where that didn't happen, humans are going to be different. And conceptions of fear are going to be different. And so are the fears themselves also going to change because of that? I feel like that would make sense. I feel like that would make sense if they did. I'm not saying they have to, because obviously the 14 entities are kind of iconic. It would be hard to change that now. They are very good, but I feel like it makes sense to change something. Because the first 5 seasons are obviously just like the first 5 seasons obviously have like a plot going through it, which is that Annabelle Kane wants to help fears spread. Or, I mean, maybe not Annabelle won't. Well, yeah, kind of. It's hard to really distinguish the parts of her that are her and the parts of her that are the web. The web, at least, wants the fears to spread, which I guess means, since they're kind of all inseparable in a way, that the fears want to spread. That does make sense, I think. In my mind, at least, it does, but the whole thing is just the fears trying to escape, trying to basically, like, procreate, I guess. Such an interesting way to do it. That is such an interesting thing, right? Because they are creatures. They're just, like, creatures of a different kind of nature from us. So it makes sense that they want to spread. Are those the only fair entities in the world, do you think? Oh, there's an interesting thought. Okay. Why don't we explore that? What if they come into a world where there are already, where something else already is? What happens then? Oh, that might be an interesting story. What else could exist? Well, fear is just an arbitrary choice, right? It could have been anything. Fear is just because Jonathan Sims wanted to write a horror story, right? Could have just as easily been love or happiness or sadness or whatever. Fear is just a very compelling set of emotions, I guess. That feels a little bit like the powers of fear face off against the powers of I don't know, sadness, happiness. That feels, I don't know. I guess you could do that well, but that feels a little corny, I feel. That feels a little corny. But it would be interesting to, like, what if powers of fear are already there? What if, two opposing sets of fears, and you get the original set of fears plus the new set of fears, or like what would be this world's original set of fears plus the original Magnus set of fears. That would Smirks 14 plus whatever they have in this new place. I don't know, that could get messy. Or maybe they collide and they combine and they change in some interesting ways. There are definitely stories to be told about this. There are. And I'm wondering if Jonathan Sims is going to be, like, are they doing an alternate version? Oh, Oh, that might be fun. Like, because they've already kind of hinted at how alternate realities work, right? Because they had that one episode with that one person who slipped through the crack in Hilltop Road. How did they describe it? It's like largely similar. It's just some small changes, as far as I remember. Because if it's just a slightly alternate version of the Magnus Archives, maybe we start at roughly the same point, and then things like some small change happens and everything changes and the story goes in a different direction. Oh, that's fascinating. Oh, that could also be a very interesting thing. This is like a how it could have gone or how it did go in a different place during a different time. Oh, maybe we get to see Webb Martin. Martin. I hope so. He works very well with the web, and they hinted at it so much. They hinted so much to Webb Martin that I just feel like not having that is... Like, I get why they didn't have it, right? They got audience feedback, and it just... They understood that it wouldn't be perceived as they thought it might. So I get it. I get it. You don't want to... You do want to see how an audience... Like, when you're doing something long form, like a podcast of that kind, getting to see like a preview of the audience reaction before you make a decision, that is useful. I can see why they chose to make him lonely. It does make sense for his character. It absolutely does. He would have absolutely also made sense for the web. He would have been a great spider. He would have made a great spider. And if this is an alternate reality, then maybe we get that. Obviously, I don't know. That might not be what this is. This might be therapy with people who survived the apocalypse, which would also be very interesting in its own right. Do we have any sort of confirmation of what this... Like, do we know what the format is? Do we know who's involved? Outside of, like, Sims and Newell? Mm, I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I hope they do well. I hope it's good. It's very hard to live up to the reputation of the first one, though. It's very hard to live up to how good that was, because it was really good. It was really good. And it felt really tight in a lot of ways. Like everything was in its place, and it just made sense for it to be the way it was. And I know it wasn't thoroughly planned beforehand. Like, it was definitely planned, but it wasn't like... They didn't have all the episodes when they started. They just knew roughly where it was going. And it's very obvious when you look at it as a whole. In retrospect, it's very obvious that they hinted at the end since the beginning. I do hope they put a little more focus on some different entities, though, because, like, I love The Stranger, for example, but The Stranger got a lot of episodes. I'm not complaining. Obviously, I'd love more episodes for every single entity. I really want to know how they work. I really want to know how all of them work, but like the stranger got a lot of the episodes. I want to know about the eye. And I know the eye is like one of the main ones, but I feel like I don't get it too much, if it makes sense. Like I understand it, but I don't get it. The web. I'd love to know more about the web. Again, one of the main ones, but so hidden, so constantly just in the background. And I know that's what the web is. I know that's how the web works, but I want to see it explored a little more. I would love to see the web explored. Web explored, no. Internet Explorer. You obviously also have the physical entities, right? The desolation, slaughter, flesh, those kinds of entities. They all have like sort of more metaphorical meanings, right? The flesh isn't just the fear of gore, it's the fear of being nothing more than just meat. It's like the fear of being just this, right? No soul, no extra thing, just this. Just this fleshy thing. Just as the vast isn't just a fear of heights, right? It's the fear of insignificance. The buried isn't just the fear of being buried. It's not just the fear of not being able to breathe. It's also a fear of being overwhelmed. Let's see. The desolation isn't just the fear of pain. It's also the fear of, well, loss would be the easy way to describe it. Just losing stuff. Right? It's pain, but it's also loss. It's the things you care about no longer being there. It's a pretty bad one. It's a pretty bad one. What else? Slaughter. I mean, obviously it's violence. It's violence, but it's also... It's violence, it's getting hurt, but more than that, it's just the things people are capable of. Anyone could go berserk. Things could just happen. It's like... Some things you just can't be prepared for. And sometimes you're just gonna... Sometimes you might just end up in a situation that's bad without being able to predict it. I feel like that's kind of the terror of the slaughter. Just that tension in your body. The hunt. The hunt is an interesting one for me. I feel a lot of feelings about the hunt. Because it's like, obviously, yeah, the fear of being hunted, but it's also the fear of becoming what you hunt. It's the fear of... Like, that's the thing, right? Because I feel like out of all the entities, the hunt is the one that kind of... Hunt avatars get the worst deal, I feel. That's not to say that any avatars get a good deal. They don't. You do not want to be an avatar. Right? That's not a good place to be. That's not a good place to be. Uh, I don't think there's a good way to be an avatar in the Magnus Archives universe. I don't think... Yeah, I just don't think there is. But for the hunt specifically, cannibalizes its own so much. Like, you cannot escape the hunt. If you're part of the hunt, you are directly in its line of sight, because it's not just about being a hunter. It's about being hunted. It's about reversal. It's about consuming and being consumed. So if you're a hunter, there's also a pretty good chance you'll, like... Yeah. The hunt is very fickle, I think. I think the hunt has a very easy time turning on its own. No matter how much of you is the hunt, I think it could very easily just start to feed on you as well. And again, that goes for all of them, right? But definitely goes for the hunt. That's an interesting point. But the hunt is also like a righteous cause. That's the thing about it. It's like... It's very good at convincing you that you're doing right. And that way it has a lot in common with the eye, right? Ceaseless watcher. The beholding. Because the beholding is all about like seeing things, revealing secrets, judging. And it's very easy to convince yourself that that's a good thing. So I can very easily see how avatars of the beholding could think themselves to be good people. I could very easily see that. I need to fix my roof at some point. I don't know what I want to do with it exactly, but can't be like that. I have some logs. I might just try that. I'm not sure this is going to be good, though. But, like, the hunt very... Like, the hunt convinces you that your cause is just and that you're doing the right thing and that it is... Like, it's giving you the power to kill monsters, right? You're ridding the world of evil. It feels good, right? It feels like the only entity where you could argue, hey, you might be an avatar yourself, but you're doing something good for the world. You're making it a better place. And obviously that's how it tricks you. That's how it gets you. That's how it gets you. Because obviously you're still an avatar. Obviously you're still serving fear. It's just... Yeah. I don't know, is that better? It's better. I don't know if it's good. The roof, I mean. The hunt is a hard one for me. I have complicated feelings about it. But I do think it's a bad place to be, and I do think you don't want to be part of the hunt. It is still a fear. Even if you could convince yourself that it's the best one to be part of. Maybe if I do... Because if you're part of like the desolation, it's very hard to convince yourself that you're doing something good, right? Because it's about loss. You're taking stuff away from people, you're hurting them, you're like, that's a hard sell, I think. That feels like a selfish power. That feels like a selfish fear to be part of. And I think I do see how you could convince yourself of its righteousness or whatever, but I feel like that's kind of counter to the point of of the thing, right? The remorseless perpetrator is kind of part of why that entity works, how it works. Would this be better? Honestly, that's yeah, I prefer that. I prefer that. Am I gonna do anything with that space? I don't know. Maybe. Are there any other entities that would slaughter? It's just random violence. Again, it's part of the point, right? It's not supposed to be righteous. It's not supposed to be good. It's supposed to be random. It's supposed to be unpredictable. And if there's a just cause behind it, then it kind of loses its bite a little bit. Flesh. I could see like they had that one episode about bodybuilders. Like I could definitely see something like that. You know, in BioShock, right? That one, the doctor who does plastic surgery and like, yeah, I could see like taking that sort of angle for the flesh and saying like, oh, I'm making the world more beautiful or whatever. That could be that could be a fun way to kind of make a self-righteous flesh avatar. Dark, yeah, I could see it. It has like a religious tint. It's very easy to put self-righteousness into that, but eh, yes and no, I guess. I don't think they think they're the bad guys, but I do think they... I just think they don't care who they're hurting, right? The dark is a hard one, though, right? The dark is a very difficult entity to really grapple with because it's... Yeah, I don't know. The dark is a weird one for me. I don't have a strong sense of it. Hmm. I don't have that strong a sense of the dark. Okay, but we have done some stuff today, right? We have cut down a lot of trees. We've started on the storage room. It's actually looking pretty good. I like this. This is pretty close to what I had in mind. Well, I mean, it's the skeleton, both literally and figuratively, I mean, I guess, of what I had in mind. But it is, yeah, this is getting there. So I definitely want to work on that more. I've made my house better a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I'm very happy actually, and I have a steady food source. That is huge. That is huge. I feel better now having that. That is definitely a source of comfort. But I think that's going to be it for today. I played a lot yesterday. I think this is probably the only stream I'm going to do today. I might do some other work though, possibly. But I guess I'll see you in space. It's still fucking dumb. Goodbye though. Take care.